What's going on, good people? Hope you guys are all doing well. Hopefully, every last one of you guys are in great health and just flourishing and doing okay. I hope you guys really are. I'm just gonna sit here and do a whole bunch of unnecessary possible lollygagging within the first 3 to 5 minutes. And the reason is because I know when you are shadow banned by YouTube because you push out truth, knowledge, and wisdom that they don't like, because I'm not up here putting on makeup and doing tutorials as a drag queen, because I'm not up here being an LGBTQ individual, because I am mentally off of the mental plantation. YouTube likes to suppress information. I'm just being straight up with y'all. So you're going to hear me possibly doing a whole lot of lollygagging for no reason. But whoever's in here right now, you can go ahead and state where you're from. We got JQ in the house. We got Sin J. Williams in the house. How you doing, sis? We got a Robbie D in the house, sis. Hello from Washington State. Where everybody else in here is from, because this is going to be a pretty, I feel like it's going to be a pretty decent show. And let me just say this already as well. To the people that might be a part of other channels where you see me appear on a lot of these other panels, I don't expect them to be over here. So a lot of people, you know, they do this thing. I noticed that with certain individuals, that if another person is going to be streaming or going live, etc., other people try not to stream. But I want to make this clear. My audience is completely different than that audience. So a lot of people that follow those other channels over there, they don't follow my channel. So that's what I want to throw that out there, because I know there's a lot of people that are on some of these other channels and they follow those other channels, which is completely awesome. But all I'm saying is that I know that those individuals don't follow me over here. So it's not going to take away from any other people's channel by me going live right now. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So shout out to everybody that's in here. We got Unifier in the house. Yes, Unifier. Go check Unifier out, folks. He has his own channel. He's also on Instagram. Good dude, getting out information. Go check him out. Shout out to you, sir. We got Robbie D in the house. We got Mo's Gaming in the house. Carol Spires in here. Tucker Yale from in the house. Trucker Yale, I'm sorry. We have Anthony in the house. Trucker. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what this is. Okay, I got you. Marshall Knoll in the house. That sounds very familiar. Diane Eaton is in the house. I have some patients down in the St. Louis area with that same last name. Huh. Trucker Yale from Texas. Man of Tomorrow says, then debate more people on the left about public policy. Good point. Very good point. From Louisiana, but in Chicago right now, you should be celebrating Lori Lightfoot's defeat. Which, no, I'm kidding. You got Florida. I call Florida my home. Florida is my home. I love Florida, man. Flint, Michigan here, and got a notification. Thank you. Appreciate that for letting me know. We got Amy Hood from Chicago. What a combination, Hood in Chicago. Girl said, dang, I want that shirt, MRM. If you go to my channel, you should be able to see it. I think I can show it to you real quick. So check this out. If you guys can see this right now, if you go on YouTube, right? If you go to my channel, right? If you go to my channel and you go over here where it says store, when you click on store, see this store? When you click on store, there it is right there. It says unvaxxed and proud, right? Unvaxxed and proud. And then on the back of it, it says pure blood, and the zero and the O's in the word blood are actually red blood cells. So just wanted to let you know that right there. Let me go ahead and move on to back. Did that screen even show? Did it show? So hopefully you guys are all doing good with your lives and all that. But guys, woo, I think I'm gonna go ahead and have to get right on into this, because this was very, 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 I knew this was going to be some, I knew this particular topic on another show was going to bring some heat. And the show I'm talking about is my guy, the Aaron O Show. So shout out to the Aaron O Show. If you want to have some completely different views, no holds barred, you can't definitely be in your feelings when you go over to things like this, there's a channel called This Is Fight Club. And Aaron O usually hosts that channel. Also, Aaron O has his own channel called The Aaron O Show. I highly recommend it if you are somebody that like to converse, hear different ideas. You get to get the very things that I think a lot of us should be talking about, but folks are scared to talk about. It goes on shows like This Is Fight Club, JP Prince, shout out to JP Prince, Cheeky Banter, shout out to Cheeky Banter, go check his channel as well, and then The Aaron O Show. So I'm just shouting those guys out because I do find myself going over there and being in the panels talking about certain discussions, okay? Just want to let y'all know that, okay? So Michelle says, hi, Amaram. I'm here from Cheeky Banter's channel. I like what you had to say. I want that t-shirt. Appreciate it. So there was this show that came on last night that I was on the Aaron O show on this panel, and it was about conservatives, black conservatives being hated. And the reason why you guys all see me being in that picture on the thumbnail is because people have thrown me in there and labeled me as a conservative because they're doing this based off my views. And let me give y'all a little bit of background first. So what I love about having a YouTube channel and doing these videos is that people can go back and watch old videos that you've done. My subscribers that have been with me over the course of the past 5 years will tell you that I will get on here and I would talk about relationships. I would talk about things regarding raising children. I would talk about the relationship with God. I would talk about food. I would talk about and show people how to fix their car. And I'm in medicine. No, I would show all these things. All I'm doing is displaying the skills, knowledge, and talents that God has given me and feel like I can bless people with that, whether it's by conversations, whether it's by deed, et cetera, et cetera. So what happened is that a lot of people, oh yeah, Unifier, email me. If I find it, give me some time, I'll jump on your podcast with you, bro. I'm like Jesus, I'll go and eat where I'm invited. But yeah, definitely email me, and I definitely can do that, or Instagram me too. What happened is that through conversation, people start throwing these words out at me. They say, man, you know, you seem to be a little bit liberal. They start saying things like, man, dude, you are conservative. Because all I cared about was taking care of my wife and my sons when I was going through college, going through medical school and all that, and then getting out and working just to make sure my family is going to be good and start enjoying life, like taking vacations. I could care less about politics. I did not care about politics. I didn't know what a Democrat was. I didn't know what a Republican was, nor did I care. You know what I cared about? Taking care of my wife and my sons. That's all I cared about. So what ended up happening is that when I would get on here, I would talk about different issues that I see plaguing the black community. And the reason why I say that is because I was a part of the plague. I was the plague. When you think of the things that goes on in the black community, from thugs, all that, I was one of them. I openly would tell people about this all the time. I was a little drug dealer, and I didn't even know I was a little drug dealer. Some of my family members would tell me to put on a backpack, and because I was really fast, they would tell me run 4 blocks that way, and you will see a dude down there with a red hoodie on, and you're going to take your backpack off and put it in a garbage can that has a blue lid on it. And then the dude going to give you a backpack, and you're going to bring it back to me. When you do that, I'm going to drop you $20. I'm just letting y'all know, trying to give you a little bit of a, you know, setup as to how my thinking is. So anyway, when people will say things to me like, dude, you sound like, you know, that sound like you're a little bit Democratic. I'm like, whatever that means, I don't know, nor do I care. I'm just speaking righteousness, period. Dude, you sound like you're a little conservative, man. And I had to go and study all this stuff and look this stuff up for myself. I took maybe, and it's on my channel, I took maybe a year and just full-fledged went back to the beginning of time with history, how things came about, how the United States was founded, And that probably was one of the worst things anybody could have had an individual like me do. Because once I found out the truth about how we formed, about everything that came on, how America was formed, how black people weren't the only ones enslaved, I laid all of it out like I did on any other thing once I get truth. And what people would do, they would try to affiliate me and box me as being a part of something when I said I'm not. Don't try to box me and put me over in somebody's lane. Don't call me a right leaning. Don't call me a left leaning. Don't call me any of that. I'm just Ty Smith that care about human beings and want the best for human beings, period. That's it. I was saved by grace, and I'm not trying to preach at y'all. And I think everybody is deserving of a second chance. I think everybody is deserving of grace because the Bible says things like such were some of you. I'm just giving y'all, look, I'm just giving you a setup, okay? So anyway, with that being said, and this is not to throw no shade because I tell people to go subscribe to a little podcast. Little podcast is from the same neck of the woods that I am when it comes to Chi-Town. But little podcast appeared on Cheeky Banter show. And when he did, he pretty much was saying how he did not care too much for black conservatives because he called them all douchebags. And he gave his reasons why. So one of the things that people got to learn to do is not get offended. So I knew I was going to jump in there. And the reason why I wanted to go on Aaron O's show and talk with little podcast regarding this, number one, because the fact that I can relate to Little Podcast because he and I come from the same neck of the woods. I was a part of that mind frame. So what people would do, they would take what I say and my remedies as to how we can get out of that mindset and say, this is what you Black conservative Negroes do. And I will say, I'm not conservative. I'm concerned is what I am. Well, man, don't try to back. No, you're not going to try to use any of your rebuttals and your excuses to try to make something feel good to you to justify a means as to why you're trying to throw a label on me. It's not going to happen, right? So don't affiliate me with anybody. I say y'all do exactly what they do up there when I was growing up in the 80s, man. Vice Lords and GDs, Bloods and Crips. You wear your, I mean, it's the same thing. You, Jesus, I mean, they even got the same colors. Democrats are blue and Republicans are red. Which one are you? I'm neither one of them. I just want people to be well and good. I am a person that cares about you as an individual. I don't care what party you're affiliated with. I want to make sure that you are good mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So that's what I'm saying. And a lot of people have a hard time digesting that because they want you to be a part of some type of affiliation. They want you to be a part of a party. I'm not, nor do I care. I've spoken at Democratic events. I've spoken at Republican events. I've spoken at just events, period. I speak at after school programs, the whole nine. I do not care. I will go and speak where I am invited. You want to know why? Because I care about individuals. I don't care how you vote or any of that. I just want to make sure that you are good, period. That's what you're not going to do to me. That's what they did back in the streets and all that. You get affiliated with a gang, affiliated with a family or something like that. Now you can't even, I mean, it does so many things to relationships. Now we on the same basketball team, but I know that your family, them are Vice Lords. My family, them are GDs. And now me and you got some beef for no reason, but you my buddy, you my teammate. See, that's what I'm saying. I learned, it may sound so elementary, but these are the type of things that I learned. And that's why I refuse. And I don't care who you are. I don't let nobody box me and try to affiliate me with no gang. I'm not a part of none of y'all, period. I'm just me. All right. So with that being said, I'm giving y'all a little setup here. The name of the show is Aaron O, and what he was talking about is what he brought on was Little Podcast, and Little Podcast said that pretty much conservatives are douchebags. So what I'm going to do, and let me see if this is showing up, because I want you guys to be able to see it. I'm going to share the screen, right? Give me a second. This is not what I want y'all to see. This is what I want you to see. Let me see if it's showing up. And I want y'all to listen to this. And then I'm going to show you how I came in because Cheeky Banter, you know, y'all see it on Cheeky Banter, pretty much had podcasts on there, and he's going to give his reason. So let me just go ahead and let y'all listen to this real quick.
Sound, okay? Mute Toxic Don when he's on the panel and he's not trying to destroy everything, okay? Mute him. Now,
before I continue on, can you guys all hear this? Before I continue on, can you guys all hear this? I just need somebody to say yes or something. When I just played the video, were you guys able to hear this? Did I get a freeze here? Am I frozen in YouTube? Okay, appreciate it. All right, here we go.
To podcast. He said, now I don't know if you heard him, but once you reach a certain status, you're not black no more. Did y'all hear him say that? Once you reach a certain status, you're not black anymore. What does that mean? What do you guys think that means? Once you reach a certain status, you're not black anymore. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that status is. Now, I know podcasts, and I know typically when he says status, he typically means money, right? But I don't want to mischaracterize what he means. So podcast, I'm just inferring. Do not take it personal. Just allow me to do such a thing. You know, we go way back. I'm your boy. Don't hurt me now. I'm just saying, typically, he make an inference to a certain level, standard, success, etc. It equates to money, right? So that means if you black and you got money, you're not black no more. I don't know if that's what you heard, right? But that's what I heard. Now, in comparison, that means, yeah, that's right, Stephen, they put it up. Yeah, let's put it up. If you black equal poor / hood / ghetto equal Democrat. that's offending. That's exactly okay. Wait, am I wrong, or did y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all interpret it the same way I just interpreted, or put a 2 if I'm off and y'all heard something different?
All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead to the spot where podcast comes on the show and starts talking to Aaron and gives his reasons. Okay. So give me a second here to find that spot right there. Here we go.
Family, everybody straight?
Actually, I'm in a jacuzzi room with my lady. She just got her naked ass in the tub, so I'm looking at titties, so I'm feeling real good right about now. So to all the douchebags in the chat that got a lot to say about past podcasts, suck it! Say hey, baby.
Hey, baby!
Hey, what's going on?
She got bubbles all over the damn place.
I ain't mean to cause no trouble on your vacation. I've never been in a jacuzzi, so you experiencing something, man. I might have to put that on my bucket list.
No, you all good. Shout out to Granville. He let me know he was looking for me. You should have waited. We should have did this on my channel, so that way it wouldn't have been all of the bias cocksuckers in the chat. But it's cool. Let's go for it. First of all, you already did a couple of things. You already said a couple of things that was out of place. But I'm used to it. That's what y'all conservatives do. Let's go.
Well, to be fair, I did say that I'm just insinuating, assuming all kind of things, and that you would be clear with it. Just to be fair.
True, but you're insinuating with 200 douchebags in the chat. So, of course, they're going to run with it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all crazy.
They don't care about the truth. They just want to hear some shit so they can say, oh, yeah, I'm better than podcasts, even though they actually not. But it's all good. Let's go.
Why does everybody always assume people are echo chambers and people don't think for themselves? Why can't you just...
Don't. It's obvious that they don't. You said, you asked the question and you said like 2 people in the chat said that they didn't hear what you said you heard. And you know why? Because you're different, but I know what you're doing. So it's different. As content creators, I understand. But the other people, specifically the people that be in the chats that never cam up, never come on panels or none of that shit, that's literally what they're there for, to be an echo chamber. Right? It is. And that's why 2 people said they heard something different, because the people that said that, they probably actually listened to me. They probably actually pay attention to what I'm saying. They people who talk kill and black culture ain't shit. I'm not saying that you ought to come back and do anything.
Hold on for a second.
My only problem is what I mean by when people don't listen to me. Because if you rewind the tape, this very video that you were just playing, you would hear me say, I'm not actually asking anybody to come back and do nothing. I literally said that before I made the statement. I'm not saying that you ought to come back and do anything. My only problem is, why do you spend every day on the internet talking shit about black people?
For example, what specifically do they talk bad about black people?
It's either red pill manosphere, black women ain't shit, or it's black people broke, all they do is shoot, kill, and black culture ain't shit. And that's the thing about it. If you pick, what can you pick out of the black culture and say only black people do it?
Well, we've had many conversations about black culture, what it actually is. I've always talked about, I actually broke it down recently, that it's just American culture and black people choose which part of the American culture they want to participate in. Shout out to Long Shot. He says it doesn't take much to be better than Lil Podcast. You can work at McDonald's and be more than Lil Podcast. Long Shot, that's kind of messed up, and that don't make you better just because you have a job. Right now, if that's part of your determining factors as a job, I would have to disagree with you. That don't make you better than nobody. But I'm just saying this. Okay, let me start with the first premise, because I will agree. I did hear you say that, by the way. And I often hear you do those prerequisites, but I will tell you this: whenever people say, I'm not saying you should, but then talk about what you're not doing, it's reasonable for people to presume that you think about it. Otherwise, why point it out?
Because the reason for pointing it out is because to show the hypocrisy. Why are you talking shit about it? Like, I don't usually, like, we can talk in jest, right? We can do stuff as content creators. We can talk in jest and we can make fun of things and we can react to things, right? But I'm saying specifically, when you come to my shows, you don't see topics of me just specifically targeting people, a specific demographic of people, right? That I have no intention on doing anything about what's going on there. That's the point. The point ain't for you to come back and do anything. The point is for you to shut the fuck up. Why do you care? Like this cocksucking ass nigga. Why do you care if I don't have a job? Why do you care if I get Section 8? Why do you care at all about any of that? It don't affect you in one way or the other. It does not. Why do you care as a conservative douchebag that all the black people in the hood are killing each other when you don't fucking live there? Why do you care?
I'll answer the question at the best of my ability, but first I want to understand, are you saying that they shouldn't care?
No, I'm saying that they don't care.
No. You said, why do you care if I'm on Section 8? Why do you care if I have a job or not? Are you saying that they shouldn't care?
Yes, I'm saying that they shouldn't care. Yes, shouldn't matter. Shouldn't care at all. Shouldn't bother them at all.
Understood. So it's similar to like how black conservative douchebags on the internet complaining. You shouldn't care nothing about that either, right?
No, because the point is this. I only care about it because they're talking about people that look like me. That's my point. Why do you care at all? Why are you talking about people that look like me? Why do you care at all? It's not. We talk about women in general in the manosphere and in Red Pill content. Why do we talk about women? Because it directly affects us.
Now, I'm going to take a pause here real quick and just kind of throw some 2 cents in here real quick. Check this out. I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way, which y'all you gonna take it how you want to anyway. So I'm just gonna say it. Folks, if you grew up in the hood like I did, I'm so used to hearing cussing and everything like that, or cursing, that I don't even notice it. So if language is gonna be an issue for y'all, you probably not gonna like this, okay? But again, I'm just letting you know because it doesn't bother me. I grew up around the stuff. It's no different than you saying. And to me, the way I hear cuss word, shoot, dang, freaking, what the heck, oh my gosh, all those things are the same to me. There is no one is not more extreme than the other one. You know, it's like, I'm just letting y'all know that for the ones who got an issue with hearing cuss words. I mean, I'm just being real with y'all. This is when you hear little podcast talk, I'm hearing my family talk, okay? A lot of my family talk like that. Do I cuss? No. I just don't. Do I hate anybody to do? No. I'm just letting y'all know that. So I just kind of like want to give y'all a little disclaimer there, but I just want y'all to really pay attention to Little Podcast and what he's saying. Not to be coming at Little Podcast, but because what Little Podcast is saying right now, it is the mindset of a lot of people in the hood. And you watch, just keep watching. You're gonna see when I get on here in the panel what I have to say to him. Okay. So here we go. Get back at it.
It directly affects us.
So I would say, do you think no one's getting impacted by these conversations? You don't think no one goes, you know, I used to think like this, but I don't think like that no more. I heard what somebody else said. Maybe that is like when you say black conservative douchebags, right? You tend to put a line in the sand to say that other people, hypothetically, Democrats, are not douchebags. I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying you understand how people would take it if you don't add them in there. You're just like, only the conservatives are the douchebags.
Right. So I hate to do this, right? First, let me do this. First, one does not represent the other. If I say right now it's cold outside, don't mean it's hot outside too, right? So just because I say something about conservatives don't mean I don't have opinion about liberals. Right. But here's the thing. Here's what you're saying right now. You're asking me, can I not understand that if somebody says that, if somebody hears me say this about this, then they can assume that. Right. That's not my responsibility. It's not up to me to determine what they assume. What people should do is learn how to take people at face value. See, but they can't do that because they're full of shit. That's the whole point. If you really came into conversations genuinely without bad faith, somebody could say something and you could just take it. Think about all the shit that people don't like about me. You know how they know it? Because I told them. Nobody doxed me. Nobody was like, yo, this nigga was on his line saying he was balling out of control and the whole time he on Section 8. I said it soon as it happened. Because I don't have anything to hide. Because I'm not doing anything to anybody. So why does it bother you so much? Because you're a fucking douchebag. Because you want to feel like you're better than somebody else. And the same people who say they better than me wouldn't stand in front of me and say that shit. That's the problem. That's what I mean by conservative douchebag. That's what I mean by being on the internet with the bullshit, right? When the people you talking about, because you're not suffering it, that means that it doesn't exist. Because you said, oh, the difference is that the people who make it out, they change their mindset from a victim mindset. Bruh, it's okay for Black people to recognize themselves as victims when they're actually a victim of something. I understand when somebody is not a victim of something. Yes, we get that, but that ain't the point. The point ain't about getting outside of a victim mindset. The point is about why are you spending your everyday demeaning and devaluing these people that have nothing to do with your existence? You could literally go through your whole entire life and not have to pay any attention to them because you don't live there anymore. So if they so terrible, right, why do you care? Some people, what do people always say? Don't focus on the bad. Don't focus on the negative. But that's what y'all doing. You sit on these panels every day and focus on the negative. Okay. Don't want to highlight one motherfucking thing good about the Black community. All you talk about is the bad.
Okay, so I want to deal with point by point. Let me just ask you the first point. What level of success does one need to get in order to become a conservative douchebag?
I don't think there is an actual level of success. I think it's a mindset. But I think if you force me to put a number on it, I'll probably say about 60 to 70K. Because that's when people start actually moving out of the hood. When they get to around 60 or 70K, they can move out to the outskirts of the city, get into some of them little suburbs that's a little bit better, like in Chicago. On the west side, they got one called Oak Park. On the south side, they got one called Oak Lawn. So when you get into that type of money, you can start moving into those other areas. And now all of a sudden, you start seeing yourself as apart from what you left. I get it, right? You want to celebrate yourself. Nobody's saying don't celebrate yourself. I'm saying, why demean that you left behind?
Okay, let me ask you this. What do people become if they're no longer Black because they got to a certain level of success, etc.?
They become douchebags. That's exactly why I call them that, right? Because you get to a point where you, like I said, you start seeing yourself as a part. Bro, imagine it's people on here, right, that get to a certain amount of money. They still smoke weed. They still have unprotected sex. They still sleep around. They still got baby mamas. They still got a whole bunch of other things going on that could be considered ghetto or a part of the dysfunctional Black culture. But because they got a certain amount of money, all of a sudden they better, they different. They can sit on panels all day and talk shit about Black people. Because they got a degree, all of a sudden they better, they can sit on panels and talk shit about Black people all day, right? They don't shop at the Walmart no more. They go to Peace Produce. So all of a sudden you can sit on panels and talk shit about Black people. That shit ain't cool. I got a lot of family members, bro, that got to the bag. And you know what they don't do? They don't sit on panels all day and talk shit about Black people. And when we all hanging out as a family, you know what they don't do? They don't sit around and talk shit about Black people all fucking day. Well, they don't.
Well, let's get to why they talk about Black people all day. Do you understand the majority of Black people vote democratically?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that Democratic power and let's so-called Republican power actually matter in this country?
Yes.
And I understand it don't have to be that deep, but you understand it has an impact. So if you're a Black so-called conservative, right? Don't you think it would be an issue if you have Black people's votes being swayed to the Democratic Party when you know it never going to benefit them in the long run, and you need to get them swayed over to more of a conservative mindset so that because that directly impacts your life people's lives in general. So that's probably a reason to start having these conversations like, hey, I know you think we're supposed to be democratic, but no, you're actually really a conservative person. Just ask questions, sit down with a conservative, have a conversation with them. You realize the majority of Black people are more aligned with conservative values than with democratic values.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to alienate, separate, segregate people that want to be over there and over here. So Black conservatives want to find other Black conservatives. They don't want to become white or join the white elite. They're looking for other Black conservatives wherever they can find them, wherever they can speak to an ear and that ear listens. So you have to talk to the people that are 99% damn near Democratic and say, hey, no, listen, let's move you out of there. That's part of the reason that these conversations tend to happen. However, if you're offended, not you specifically, but if you're offended by some of the things, if these things impact you, then you can either do something to change them, because you're probably not going to change the person that are saying them unless what they're saying is wrong and you can prove it to them and they receive that it's wrong.
Right. But the problem is you're taking what I'm saying, but you're not taking the context in which I said, right? So think about it like this. I've always said this. People might look at me as somebody that has a problem with white people. And I always say, go back through my videos. You ain't got to watch them. Just go look at any of my videos and tell me how many of them you see that are actually titled. The topic for the show was about white people. You ain't going to see it. That's not my thing. It's not something I talk about every day because I'm not being directly affected by it all the time. Even though it still hinders me sometimes because of my background, but I'm not letting it bother me like that. I don't feel like it's actually preventing me from doing the shit that I really want to do. It might prevent me from getting a job, but I don't give a fuck about the job. But the things that I really want to do in life, it's not preventing me. So I don't talk about it, right? But you know when I do talk about it, Aaron? I talk about it when people sit on panels and they talk shit about Black people. That's when I bring it up. That's when I'm saying, yo, but what about this, right? People, all these panels, they want to, man, these drug dealers in the neighborhood need to be pulled out and shot. But you don't give a shit about Big Pharma, though. You don't care about opioids. You don't care about fentanyl. You don't care about the ADHD medicine that got the kids going crazy. You don't care about all that shit. But you care about the drugs in the community that the Black man is selling.
Let's touch on that. So I think this is actually one of the points you brought up, and I'm glad you remembered it. Knowing you, damn near remember everything. Let's ask this question: what makes you think that Black? Because we're talking about Black conservatives per se, because you don't give a damn about white people and all these other people. Not saying you don't like them, but they ain't got nothing to do with what you got going on. What makes you think Black conservatives don't have a problem with Big Pharma?
Because they never talk about it. That's the point that I said. They sit on panels all day and they talk about the Black drug dealers in the community. They never talk about Big Pharma. We can literally, I wish I was at home and I had my computer. We can pull up all of the channels that we all support and go through their last 30 videos. You know what you're not gonna see? Why is Big Pharma doing this? Why did they allow this to go on? Why did the FDA allow this to go on? They're not never addressing them. All they only talk about is the gender war and hood niggas.
Okay, so give me an example of the things that Black Big Pharma is doing that you think is comparable to what they're doing on the streets.
Selling drugs that people get addicted to and from. Modern Renaissance Man sat on Fight Club last weekend, the weekend before, and talked about how the drugs that Big Pharma has gave to people, the same drugs that he prescribed to people, right, has killed and destroyed more lives than crack and heroin together, which are the two typical drugs that Black men are known to hustle in the community. It's crack and heroin. Right?
Yeah, okay.
It's still black men in prison for weed sales today. Meanwhile, it's people out here making money off of weed right now.
No, I get that. But like whenever it was outlawed to sell alcohol, people were in prison for doing that. They were still in prison when they stopped outlawing and people eventually got out, right? So it's just a time period that we're in. So we understand there are black people that are in prison with marijuana. And if there was, I'm sure if there was any other race of people that did the same crime, i.e. pounds and pounds and all that stuff, sold a whole bunch of it, made all this money, they tend to go to jail too. And I don't think that they're out randomly while other people are locked up. But I know you don't necessarily care about those people. It's more of a concern for the black people. So I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that the drugs that doctors tend to prescribe, that tends to be on an individual basis, right? There can be a bad doctor here that may go off the rails and prescribe drugs they shouldn't, overprescribe things, but they have protocol in place, they have rules in place to prosecute people that tend to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you think they're just freely just getting people addicted to drugs and there has never really been no consequence for these actions?
So the internet is acting crazy in here, just so you know.
Yeah, no problem.
Because it's like choppy when you talking to me. I can't hear a lot that you was just saying, but I did hear the last question very clearly. I just want to let you know that. I'm gonna try to see if I can connect to the hotel Wi-Fi too. But so here's the thing though, right? From what I know, not one person related to Big Pharma has ever went to jail. I could be wrong about that, but you know what I know it hasn't been? Millions of them. I know it hasn't even been thousands of them. It ain't even been 100 of them, right? I know I watched a documentary where they was talking about how they lied about the fact that I believe it was the opioids. They were saying that they weren't addictive when in fact they were. Not to mention a lot of the drugs that they give to the kids, bro, those quote unquote ADHD drugs and all of that be driving them kids crazy. They be developing titties and all kind of stuff. But when they try to get off of the medicine, that's when they really lose their mind. The point is that the drugs are just as harmful, if not more harmful. That's the point. So
I agree with that. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm just saying for the people who are talking, right? If your issue, right? If your issue, the people who are talking crazy about the drug dealers in the hood, if your issue is the fact that they're selling drugs that are harmful, right? Mm-hmm. How can you not have a problem with Big Pharma? How can you never do an episode, never have a conversation, never express any, you know what I'm saying, sort of disdain for the Big Pharma that not only prescribes and sells just as many, but more drugs that have taken more lives and done more harm, and they have not reaped one consequence for it.
Okay, I'll answer that just in a moment. Let me get to these super chats real quick. In these YouTube streets, a lot of black conservatives spew the same nonsense as these alt and far right conservatives, saying basic points and no substance. You pick and choose who you listen to. Shout out to Angry Man. He said, we talk about black people because we are black. And the worst of us is the representation of us. We talk trash because we want them to do better. Every group has criticized their worst demographics. That's his position there. So now I want to answer your question. I'm gonna bring up MRM if that's cool with you. Is that cool with you?
I want to respond to Angry Man's comment too.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull it back up in just 1 second. Let me bring up MRM and I'm gonna answer the question, and then he can answer the question with more of an expertise in that field. Right? I'm going to say this: people on the street corner are overwhelmingly selfish with their drug selling. All it does is benefit them. Now, when you look at scientists, when you look at people that sell drugs, Big Pharma, etc., a lot of their breakthrough comes from trial and error. And is it unfortunate that some people have to experience negative things for them to make breakthroughs in science? Well, that's kind of how life works. So there's actually a benefit at the end when you look at the history of big pharma, all the pharmaceutical companies, scientists, etc. They tend to make a breakthrough and things change. And they say, oh, we figured this out. Even though a negative came from here, it led to a breakthrough over here, right? That's never going to happen on the street level. Everything they do on the street level is going to be self-serving. That money is going to be spent however they want to spend by them. If you look at big pharma, if you look at Pfizer, right? You look at Apple, you look at these huge companies, they do a lot of reinvesting, right? A lot of their money go to research and development. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect, but what I'm saying is the money that they generate, yeah, you're going to get rich. There are going to be a lot of rich executives, et cetera, like that, like with any conglomerate, any corporation, right? But they're also going to do good things, and you can't get rid of the bad things that happen. Nobody has figured out a way to do that. I would argue, sorry, people on the streets ain't never helped nobody benefitly by the drugs that they're giving out, as opposed to what big pharma are doing. Although I'm not making an excuse for them, I'm saying I agree with you. They're never going to do any jail time. You know why they're not going to do any jail time? Because they're the ones that are going to continue to make breakthroughs with science. They're going to be the only ones that are going to do that thing. Nobody on the street corner, none of those great drug dealers, when we watch American Gangster, have ever going to change anybody's lives scientifically. It's never going to happen. We don't have no stories of it, no history of it. And yes, it comes the good with the bad. So that's how.
So who gets to determine which good is worthy? You?
That's a good question. Society determines that.
Because I would think for all the drug dealers who invested in the youth in their communities, bought food, paid bills, sent kids to school, bro, everybody want to make it seem like the drug dealers just make a whole bunch of money, buy Cadillacs and Jordans, and that's it. It's not how that looks. They take care of a lot of people. It's a lot of people that ate better because them niggas was hustling.
Agreed, but there's a downside
to a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids that had somebody tell them take your ass to school because of them same drug dealers. Them same drug dealers was the one telling me, no, them same gang members was the one telling me, no, you can't join the mob. Yeah, right? Because they knew I wasn't really cut out for it, right? For what it really took to like really be in the mob. I got in the mob shelter because my brothers brung me in, right? So all I'm saying is there is some good that they actually do, right? But who gets to determine what good that is?
I get that, right? But here's the problem with that. They don't have to sell drugs to do that. Now, you can't argue that big pharma has to use chemicals, science, et cetera, and all that in order to do what they need to do in their field, in order to continue to produce the next big thing. Angry Man, you absolutely can come up. I'm telling you now, you don't have to sell drugs to send your kids to school to put food on the table. You can do something else. When we're talking about science, we're talking about drugs, we're talking about experts. You can't conflate the two. Like, they have to do what they're doing in that field in order to get the next breakthrough, the next pushover. So let me mute you. I'm talking to your girl. So that's a little bit of a different. You don't have to sell drugs on the street corner to feed your family. You can absolutely do something different. So I that's the part I have to disagree with. MRN, what you got on it, bro?
If I can take my time to hit a lot of these points that we've already talked about, just to kind of get it from another perspective, because I'm somebody that came from that side. I'm talking you guys all, a lot of folks in here already know the story. But to be able to be a part of that single parent, disenfranchised, low income, Section 8, we named our roaches, we named our mice, we didn't have power at times, went around Chicago, picking cans, turning stuff in for money, et cetera, et cetera. To go from that to where I am right now, and little podcast, I want to make this clear. What I'm saying right now, what I'm getting ready to say is not directed at you. Okay, so I want to make that clear. This right here is directed to anybody might be in this chat, or this might be directed at any type of individual that might be of this particular mindset. Because this mindset that I'm talking about is not just among Black people. It's among the trailer trash white people too. It's among the backyard, backwood, hillbilly folks too. This particular mindset is what I'm hitting on, okay? So what I find is that it's very amazing that those who have never crossed over to what you want to call this uppity Black people side, or this uppity Black I don't even like to be called conservative because I don't like to be labeled anything. I'm just me. But it's amazing that I even get labeled that. But it's amazing. A lot of folks that are actually, let's just say, from the hood or still even in the hood, they seem to know the answers better than us that have actually crossed over and seen this other side of this world that they haven't even been on. But yet they know more than what we do while we're over here. So what I'm saying is, and I'm going to try to do this in a nice little analogy. What I noticed is this. For one, when you spank a child, the child is pissed off more at the fact that you spanked them versus what you spanked them for. So I notice this same type of mindset happens when I go, and because I do this. When you say folks don't do anything, I'm not talking about you little podcast. I'm talking about just in general. We work with several after-school programs. Mm-hmm. I don't even have to do this. I go there and volunteer my time to go in there to pull people out to come over to this side to show them that they too can do the same exact thing that I did. They can do the same exact thing that I did. But what you cannot do is we cannot sit here and think about the fact that because I'm pointing out something that black people do and try to use that as the excuse of, oh, why y'all talking about black people? Why we always got to talk about black people? Because that is the problem. When I got to sit down and talk with Donald Trump, which a lot of people hate him, I don't care. When I got to sit down and talk with Donald Trump at the White House, Donald Trump flat out told us in that room, he said, white people are not going to be able to do, and I'm just telling you his words, because Donald Trump is gangster behind closed doors, I'm telling y'all. He said, white people are not going to be able to do a thing to fix black people. He said, it's going to take black people to fix black people, is what Donald Trump said. So what I'm saying therefore is this. Whenever we do, and as being in medicine, if you came into my office and I said, you know what's rampant amongst black people? High blood pressure, rampant. You know something that black people get when they get hurt or get scarred or get cut real bad? They get something called keloids. White people really don't get that. Black people, diabetes run high among. Now, would you get pissed off because I diagnosed the issue of what's going on with black people? Or would you say, what can I do to fix it? You would say, okay, I accept that you just diagnosed me with having high blood pressure. I accept that you just diagnosed me with having, diabetes. I accept that. But then you're going to turn around and say, so doc, what do I need to do to fix it? But what you will find is a lot of people of the black community, they don't want to know the solution. They don't want to hear the solution because all they can focus on is the fact that you just diagnosed the issue with me. Why do you got to keep on talking about me having high blood pressure? Why you got to keep on talking about me having diabetes? Why I got to be only black people? White people get diabetes sometimes too. Why aren't you talking about? Because we're talking about you. And when you think about it, because I'm just being real, black people a lot of times have been so subconsciously trained to respond that way when you have no idea. Why do I spank my sons when they were coming up? Why did I spank them? Why did I correct them? Because I want them to do what? Be better. I'm not spanking them for the sake of just spanking them. I'm spanking them because I'm trying to correct a behavior that I don't want. I'm spanking them because I see the trajectory of if they keep that attitude, where it's going to get them. So that's why the spanking occurs. But again, too often we focus on the fact that I got a spanking versus on what I got the spanking for.
Well, I want to make sure podcast perspective is being represented properly. He is very big on words. He is very specific. So I don't want you to misrepresent him. And I want you to, and I understand you want to deal with a bunch of points because me and podcast had already been talking. But we're trying to break it down piece by piece and really understand each other. So podcast, did you want to respond to what he just said?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I rock with MRM, but I barely was listening to most of what he said.
Niggas,
because he didn't.
I'm messing with you, Pac.
He didn't come up and confirm what he said on Fight Club, which is what I was expecting to do. Not come up and team up on the conservative douchebag side of the game, and try to once again pull out this 5% of people. Right, it's ironic because when I hear white people and black people clashing, you know what black people usually say, and I don't know if they liberal or conservative. I just know they be black. They usually tell the white people, "Why are you always focusing on the bad? Right? Why you don't focus on the good?" I know while you was talking, I was sitting here thinking about how Fatty and Lou, they not even from here, but as much as they get on my fucking nerves,
I wanted to take a pause right there, ladies and gentlemen, just to show you guys that this is exactly what I'm talking about. And again, to the people that are in this chat right now, I like podcasts. That's my guy. I like podcasts. I like people that think completely different. And the reason why is because my job is to try to get in there and try to help them. But what I want you guys to know is this. Did you notice that he never, ever even addressed what I was saying? Podcast, you know I love you, bro. And I said this too, man. I say it to his face. He know I will. Cool dude, cool guy. Just let you know. So nobody think that I got some type of vendetta against him. I don't dislike anybody. So what you would notice that podcast said, the first thing after I got done saying all that, I literally said and gave the solution. And his response, be honest, I really wasn't even listening. But earlier podcast, even if you're watching this, you just got done saying all black people do is get up here and bash black people. And I just got done giving the solution and telling you why it happened. And he turned around and was like, I'm not even listening to him. And then what he did, he completely went on to something else. If y'all notice, he went on to something else. So what you will find is that too often when you are in a conversation with someone and they're completely disagreeing with you, a lot of people are so focused on just having an argument, a point. A lot of people actually have this type of fight or flight type mentality where they will create a diversion and not actually address the talking point or address the argument that I was making. They'll go on to something else. So that's why you hear him saying things like he changes subjects like, oh, yeah, like Fatty, you know, when I'm on there with them, they do this and that. It's like, dude, it's like I said, I gave a perfect analogy. And to the extent to where if you want to argue that point, you could have easily I could easily say, and this is what I'm talking about. Some people will take the fact that I just diagnosed them and told them how they can solve the issue that they got going on. But then other people just don't want to hear because they just don't want to think that there's nothing wrong with them. That's what a lot of people do. You can come in there and get diagnosed with any type of thing that might be plaguing you and I diagnose it and you turn around and just ignore me. Don't do nothing about it. So anyway, that's what you're going to see right there. It just kind of went way out of the way. I gave solutions, but it's proven right there that when you try to give certain solutions, there is a mental defense mechanism in a lot of people's minds where they instantly shut off anything you're saying. So pretty much the way I took it a little bit, I laughed about it because like I said, I joke around. I've done this for so long that if people are not hearing me, I don't take offense to it because it just let me know that that person really is not trying to be fixed. Some people are just in conversations just for argument's sake. Not saying that this is him, but I'll let you guys watch it and be the judge of it yourselves.
Them two dudes have shared probably more information about how to strategically do things financially, right? To set yourself up for the future and set your kids up for the future than most of the other black people in this space that I have heard. Now, watch somebody act like I didn't say I have heard. Watch they be like, oh, you lying because Anton and because such and such, because they ain't gonna give a fuck about what I say. They just want to be able to mischaracterize me. They're gonna ignore that I said that I have heard. Just pay attention to the chat. So, but they have, right? It's a couple of things that I can name that I didn't know before I met those guys, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Instead of, see, Angry Man, I want to respond to his comment. He's a tough love kind of guy. And, you know, so is Anton. And I had to have a conversation with Anton before I understood and accepted the fact that his brand of counseling is necessary for some people, right? Angry Man, tough love kind of guy, his brand, right, of love, of correction is necessary for some people. But there's a nice majority of people in the black community that just ain't going to accept it coming that way. And that's the problem, right? Well, you could talk about, and Marvin just talking about spanking a kid, right? Guess what? You a parent and you have more than one kid, you probably know some of your kids, you have to tell them once, tell them twice, tell them 3 times, might have to go upside their head. You might have another kid, tell them 1 time, and that's all it takes.
Can I ask you a quick question? Did Fatty and Lou, did they tell you this information privately or was it publicly on the platform?
It was on my show. It was on the platform.
Okay, no, because I'm wondering if people actually heard it or not, if it was behind the scenes. So, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it was on my show.
So your response to Angry Man is that he's tough love.
Yeah, he's a tough love kind of guy. He's saying that, you know, oh, we're talking about black people because, you know, we're trying to correct them. Bro, everybody don't need it that way. But the point is that some people have had it tough enough that I don't need you to be tough with me. You know what I'm saying? I just need you to tell me. I need you to, you know, black people always had this thing about not wanting to walk nobody through nothing. Bro, I don't want to have to grab your hand and walk you through nothing. Well, then you don't actually want me to succeed. Because guess what? Not everybody's learning style is for you to say something one time and they get it. Some people's learning style, you can look it up if you want to. Some people's learning style is them actually having to do it, right? And then it kind of becomes like muscle memory from where they can remember how it's done by actually doing it, right? So everybody, you can't say, yo, go do this, that, this, and that, and then just expect them to remember it all, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you have to be willing to approach people, and you have to be, if you're really trying to teach people, you have to be willing to teach people the way that they need to learn. If you can't, then you know, you should have a friend or somebody, a coworker, an asset somewhere else that may, you know, be able to capitulate to their learning style. But not if they don't take to your learning style, all of a sudden they ain't shit. That's not how that works.
That to me, that sounds like that sounds like a standardized mentality that you see in a lot of the school systems. So what I'm saying therefore is that, again, I mentioned earlier, notice when I was saying, like, whenever I do go to the communities or even the kids that we mentoring right now, I say things like, let me show you. Let me show you. So, of course, everybody got a different learning style. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn by looking at it, touching it, feeling it, the whole nine. That's how I learn. So I know everybody got a different learning style. But see, let's say, for example, if I was talking to you really right now, podcast, and you was trying to do something, I would say, okay, you just got done telling me everything that you just said, my brother. What do you want? What do you want? So now, since everybody got a different learning style, you're not speaking on behalf of all black people. You're speaking on specifically black people that got a learning style that might be like yours. So now I'm going to be asking you, what do you want out of this? And whatever it is, let's get it. But now, with that being said, well, no, man, I heard that, you know, something. If you want to do it, let's get it. And I'm getting ready to show you. But what I'm saying that for is that, again, I think too often we have been too subconsciously manipulated in the brain to do exactly that. It's a defense mechanism. We don't like to be corrected. We don't like to be disciplined, because what they teach us to do is to focus on the fact that you just got disciplined versus on somebody trying to tell you the solution. So now, example, a video that I did went completely viral, and out of nowhere, and I was not joking when I put this in the chat, out of nowhere, I was Candace Owens' brother and Larry Elder's nephew. Out of nowhere. If I'm able to share it, I'll show the video. I was on Fox News and everything, on all kind of news stations, because this just blew up all of a sudden, because I'm up here snapping on folks, letting them know, don't be going around telling these little black kids that they're not going to be able to progress and do anything because there's this thing that's out there to get them. And all of a sudden, they push. So what I'm saying therefore is that we have the solutions. But I'm just saying, as a general statement, black folks, do not get pissed off because we are first diagnosing what the issue is. I don't want to sit there and try to treat you ignorantly without knowing what your diagnosis is.
So MRM, let me tell you what I heard there, right? And I'm not even mischaracterizing because I'm just thinking deeper, right? A lot of times as black people, this is what we have the hardest problem dealing with. Anton, Angry Man, MRM, Aaron O podcast ain't for everybody. But if I like Angry Man, I'm like, man, I like Angry Man, but the way he be breaking things down, it don't work for me. I get frustrated at him because he doesn't speak to me the way I want him to speak to me. But that's not fair to him. Just because I like him don't mean I have to force him to speak to me the way I want to be spoken to. I got to realize that everybody ain't for everybody. And if Angry Man can't speak to me in this particular financial format, whatever the case is, the way I need to, I can't put it on him to change who he is so that it benefits me. You have to go and then find somebody else who speaks your language. We tend to only have a few leaders or people that we look up to or people that we respect and go, I need you to do everything that I need you to do that will help us, but in the way that I need you to help me. And I'm saying people are not designed that way. We can't make Malcolm X get a mixture of this person and a mixture of this person in order for us to like them. No. You have to find people that work for you in different areas. So if Angry Man killing in this area, let it be that. But don't try to say, Angry Man, you know you can do this too if you talk like this. That ain't fair to him. So I think we do that a lot as Black people.
And let me, if I can finish this point, because I know Ingram Man getting ready to cook, I want to finish this point that I wrote out right here. The reason the focus could be put on Blacks is because we're not trying to fix white people's issues. We're trying to fix Black people issues. And now, you know, and I'm going to say this too. What you will find too is that if you become of a certain success level, financially and all that, people tend to already get an inferiority complex about you. So therefore, they would draw up these conclusions about the type of person that you are. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, I step into the realm of making a lot of money, and instantly I get put in this particular mindset of Black folks that are in the hood. And I'm like, I'm right. I just can't. Dude, a freaking board's examination just separated us financially. Before that, going through school at a particular time, y'all were making more money than people in the hood was definitely making more money than what I was. I was going to school full time, taking care of a wife and 2 sons, going to school from 7 to noon, then having track practice from 1 to 3, then working at a furniture store from 4 to 11 o'clock. Come home, my son still halfway asleep, got these weird sleeping hours. My wife trying to sleep. I'm putting my son on my legs, rocking him like this while studying. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying that for is that I learned that this thing, we say you want to talk positive about the Black community. I learned a lot of my hustle mentality. If it was not for the freaking streets and the hustle mentality I learned from my family, then when it comes to drugs and all that, I probably would not have been able to get through college like I did, because I went to school. I was the only Black person in the program. Okay. A lot of white people fell out. Now, would I say, the reason why they felt why did I make it through and they didn't? Did they have white privilege? Was it because of systemic racism? No, that school cared about what your grades looked like, is what they cared about. They cared about your performance. But at the same time, before I even stepped into that realm, I had folks, man, you know how hard it is? You want to work twice as hard as the white person. You want to work 3 times. I didn't, dude. I worked as hard as I needed to work. Other white people failed out. And when I asked my teacher, which some people say that they try to put in my head, I'm not going to lie. Rainbow Coalition wanted me to be a part of them, NAACP. You need to figure out, look, you're the only Black man in that program. And I'm telling you, it's because I flat out asked my teacher, why am I the only Black person in this program? You know what they told me? Because you were the only one that applied. Well, they could be lying to. Okay, all right, then guess what? The teacher showed me the applications. So what I'm saying that for is this. No matter how much we sit back and complain about our circumstances, where we are, bro, look at what we've done thus far. It is not going to change unless you wanted to change. Based off of your actions and what I see and how you're moving, your actions is telling me that you don't want to change. That was all my points right there thus far.
So since it's me against 3,
no, don't say that. See, no, you already doing it, podcast. No,
it's just the truth,
you
bro.
Already doing it.
I'm the non-conservative on the panel, so it's
I'm not. No, see, now you just boxed me. You did exactly. Wait. You did exactly what I said that they do. You just boxed me as a conservative. I literally said I'm not a conservative.
You did. I'm sorry. I apologize. I mischaracterized you. That's wrong of me. I don't like it when people do that. At what age, this question is directly to you, MR. At what age did Jesus start his ministry?
Again, ladies and gentlemen, noticed how what I just got done saying did not get addressed. Notice what I said did not get addressed. This is what I'm talking about. It is a complete type of mindset. God bless podcasts. I've dealt with mindsets like his. I usually do a thing where I sit down. Like, honestly, it would have been probably better if he and I were able to sit down and talk one-to-one, because I would have been able to get to the heart of the matter with podcasts and find out that the reason why podcast is stagnant and some of the things that he might do is because he's dealing with some personal traumas. And he's going to say this in the video later on down the road. We're not going to get there because it gets crazy. I'm not even going to get into that. But this is what I'm saying. You're going to see, because usually, I mean, I'm not going to show you all the whole video, but pretty much almost through the rest of this panel, I don't say a whole lot more, because here's the deal. Once I give you the solution, once I show you the way and just try to give you a little bit of a peek, once I have opened the door and say, just walk through it, I can't make you do that. See, I opened the door to him. Y'all notice when I got done saying, I said, what do you want? You couldn't, he out. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing against him, folks. I'm talking about this. This is not just Lil Podcast. What Lil Podcast is doing right now is representing a lot of people that have that same mindset. A lot of people like that. It will, I'm just being real. It would literally take for me to physically take Lil Podcast and say, here, I'm going to sit you down in front of these executives and they're going to tell you what you need to do and what you can do to do X, Y, and Z. But I can't do that for a lot of folks. I cannot do that for especially adults. That's why, honestly, I don't really deal with a lot of adults. I deal with people between the ages of 10 and possibly 24, 25 years old. That's my age right there, because they still can be, they're not in the stage where you're trying to teach an old dog new tricks. The door is open, but I cannot make Lil Podcast walk through it, which you will see. I literally, and I'm metaphorically speaking, I literally just said to him, brother, what do you want? Because whatever it is, there's the open door. Here's the door to Lil Podcast success. What did Lil Podcast do? Man, see, check this out. How old was Jesus when he, what? Wait a minute, what? I just got done saying all of that. And your response is, how old was Jesus? Because I know that that's going to derail, and now we're going to be talking about something that's going to lead into something else, et cetera, da. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to throw y'all a disclaimer right now too. My moderator, Red, is letting you guys know on my channel, because I'm heavily shadow banned. I'm telling you, I'm heavily shadow banned. When you put a whole bunch of caps up there, YouTube will start to flag it as if you actually are being hostile towards me. So what they would do, YouTube would end up, like, say, if I make a video in the future, like a upload, if you try to comment on my upload, YouTube will instantly take your comment away, because YouTube is taking it like you're being hostile. And honestly, everybody that's in my chat right now are not all subscribers. YouTube do have their AI in here. They do have their folks in here watching the stream. I'm just being real with y'all, just to let y'all know. All right. So here, I'll let y'all hear a little bit more of this, but it ain't too much more that's going to be of any significance. Okay. So hold on. I would say I don't even really know, because some people say he was doing something at 12 years old. At 12 years old, they said he started at 12 years old. He was speaking, and his mom was saying something to him. He told his mom, "I'm about my father's business."
Mm-hmm. So, from what we know in the Bible, Jesus goes from age 12 to age 30, I think. Right? It's like a missing 18 years in there, somewhere like that. And you can honestly say that he really started his ministry at 30 years old, right? He's got his actual ministry. He started at 30. The question would be, why wouldn't he start earlier than that? I mean, his mama was 14 when she had him, right? Everybody always talks about how people died young then, and that was the time, and everything was about starting early, right? So why wouldn't he start that, so much earlier than that, right? The reason why I'm bringing that up is because we act like everybody is supposed to have the same story and the same outcome. And at the same time, you have people like Aaron O, who will sit on the panel and tell you there are no guaranteed outcomes and not everybody is going to win. Right? So then if Aaron O can sit on the panel and say there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, and let's just say that Aaron O is a winner, do you think it's possible? Please don't deflect from the actual question that I'm about to ask. Do you think it's possible that some people can also know that there are going to be winners and losers and just know I'm one of the losers? Do you think that's possible?
No.
Okay.
Now, what I mean by, and the only reason why I say this is because there's variables. When we got to echo. And the reason I say that is because when you say a loser, there's so many variables to that. Loser at what? Because you didn't become a doctor like I did, and that makes you a loser. The guys that fell out of the program that I was in, are they losers? No. They went on to do something else. Some of them reapplied and went through the program and made it. It don't make you a loser. It's just that for me, when it comes down to it, I like to pretty much be calculated in knowing what a person's talent, ability, and skill is, and then try to fit that into certain type of career path that they can take. So when we say winner and losers, I need to know exactly what that loser is and what that loser looked like and what made that person a loser before I would call them a legit loser. Some people are losers because they just don't want to do anything. You're a loser.
You don't even understand what you just did. And it'll be a waste of time for me really to even try to explain it to you, because that's not an actual answer to the question, right? Do you agree that there's a such thing as a loser?
The question is flawed.
Do you agree that there is a such thing as a loser?
The question is flawed, and you're setting up a straw man argument.
Okay, just really quickly. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to do it, so I'm not doing that intentionally. I just want to know if MR thinks that there is a such thing as a loser.
Yeah, see, that's loaded, and I said no because there's variables to being what a so-called loser is.
Okay, but I'm just asking you, do you think, is there a such thing? Don't compete. I'm just asking you.
Yeah,
a straw man.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Let me do it this way. Watch this. Aaron O, without trying to think about where I'm going or straw man or any of that, is there a such thing as a loser?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's possible that a loser can know that they're a loser?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Angry Man.
No,
I see what you're doing.
That is a straw man. That is a straw man fucking argument for the definition. We gotta echo.
Podcast. I don't know what your feedback is, bro. I know you probably usually have headphones on, but I don't know.
It's bouncing off the satellite.
Yeah, it's my phone. So wait. So Aaron, I'm not trying to put the responsibility on you, but when I'm not talking, if I forget, can you just mute me?
Oh no, no doubt. I got you. No doubt.
Yeah, because it's my phone. This shit trash, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a straw man argument. A straw man argument is when you set up the parameters of the question so that you definitely get the answer that you want to get confirmation bias. The concept of being a winner or a loser is subjective. DMX's first album was Born Loser. By the time he lived his life, no one could say that he really was a loser. So that's one thing. The other thing is, no video that I ever have done with conservative talking points is ever going to make Fox News or any of that. All right. Because I'm not a doctor like MRM. I'm not college educated like Candace Owens, and I'm not a potential political candidate like Larry Elder. Now, the reason why I say that is because there has been a concerted effort throughout history to deny Black people what they need in order to rise or in order to progress. And one of the things that they need, and they always have known this, is for somebody who is from amongst them, who is still somewhat amongst them, to say certain things to them. See, somebody like me is dangerous. And the reason why is because obviously from that. Now, MRM, you're from that too, but you've kind of made a transition to where they can add those 6 degrees of separation. They can say, oh, well, he's a doctor. So because they can say you're a doctor, they can put you in this bougie nigga category. It's hard to put me in a bougie nigga category.
Facts.
See what I'm saying? So if I say it, it's going to be a lot more difficult for a motherfucker to say, oh, he's a bougie nigga that's uppity and he don't know what he's talking about. No.
Which is why I even hate telling people that. So go ahead. That's why I even hate mentioning it. I'm like, no, I don't even say anything because then they're going to use it as a.
They use it to disqualify you, because once you become successful as a Black person in the Black community, they no longer look at you as a Black person. That's the fucking reality. And so once you no longer look like a Black person to them, you're not allowed to critique them. And the reason why is because, quite frankly, Black people are full of shit. And Black people love, more than anything, to shame people out of critiquing them so that they can comfortably live in being full of shit. That's the fucking reality.
But AM, you're wrong about that partial statement. You are looked at as black by other successful black people.
Yeah, but not, yeah, but not, you know, but not the ones that need to hear what the fuck it is I'm saying.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like,
so do we need to make a separation from black folks versus niggas?
So here's the reality, right? The reality is, I get on YouTube and I critique black people all the time. I talk cash shit about black folk, and I'm gonna continue to talk cash shit about black folk, and I'm comfortable doing it. And I have no problem doing it. And the reason why I don't have no problem doing it is because I know how black people operate. Black people claim that they want to do better, but when you try to teach them something to do better, they give you every fucking excuse in the book as to why they can't do it. Even to the point where if you say, well, if you read this book, oh, that book was written by a white man. Or, oh, I'm not reading no book. So anything that you did that actually contributed to your level of success, they want to turn around and say, well, I'm not going to do that, or make excuses to why they're not going to do that. And in the same breath, start singing, we shall overcome. It's bullshit. Okay. Black people prior to the 60s were conservatives. Point blank, period. Right. And black people have descended and went down a path that has made them worse than they were. So it's not like black people can't do well. It's not like black people can't have flourishing communities, because we already had that. The reason why we don't have that now is because black people have become comfortable in debauchery. And the problem is, most of the intelligent black folk, especially during the Gen X era, when they grow up, smart, intelligent people don't tend to have a lot of fucking kids. They might have one, maybe two. But the most ignorant of us, who are able to get a lot of entitlement programs, which makes it easier for them to indulge in having a shitload of kids, have a bunch of fucking kids. And the problem is, those same individuals teach their children a lot of dysfunctional shit, and that shit has become our fucking culture. And we love to sit back and pretend that that's not what it is. Now, as far as us critiquing black people, every group has its own set of deplorables. And every group has its own set of well-to-do or elites, or whatever you want to call it. The well-to-do and the elites have always critiqued the deplorables of whatever group they're in. Okay? White people that are conservative people, they most certainly critique trailer trash white folk. They most certainly critique the things that they do. Now, here's what
harsher than what we do.
Yeah, way harsher. Now, here's where the and they're far worse, because they completely segregate them from themselves. Now, us black folks that actually get some damn money, we don't necessarily do that. Even if we move out of the hood, we still go back to the hood. We still go there and we try to help out, or we give away some turkeys or whatever the fuck, right? Or try to teach something, right? So those groups will always critique the worst of them. And the reason why is because the worst of them is a representation of their entire group. Now, for black people, that's on steroids. For black people, the worst of us, we are always judged by the worst of us. So we're always judged by what goes on in the hood and all of the activities in the hood. Now, as far as what Podcast said about the drug dealing, I get that. When you have a dude in the community that's a kingpin drug dealer, he is creating an economy in that hood. And there are a lot of people that benefit from that. But you got to also think about the downside to those benefits. Now, when you talk about big pharma and you say, well, the drug dealers in the hood, there was a lot of people that ate off of that. There's a lot of people that were able to live a little better because of that. It's the same thing with big pharma. You know how many people big pharma employ? You know how many people get paychecks because of big pharma? So that same argument can be used for big pharma. That's why you really shouldn't use that argument, because big pharma actually employs way more people and put way more people in a position to live better than the niggas in the corner. And then on the corner, then on top of that, big pharma is not just peddling their drugs to one particular group. They're peddling it to everybody. Okay. Now, as far as black folk, we only represent, a couple years ago, it was 14% of the population. It's slowly turning into 12% of the population, which means, guess what? When you're a small group like that, you don't have the luxury of doing certain things. You talk about big pharma or what white people do in their communities. White people represent about 200 some million people in this country. They have the luxury to do a lot of shit. Black people only represent 44 million people in the country. We don't have the luxury of that. Our people are fucking dying off from a lot of stupid shit, from child deletions, because now you have women treating that like it's a form of birth control, thinking that they can run around here and have sex with anybody. You got all these issues with STDs. You got a bunch of shit that comes from the debauchery of black folk. And the fact that there are well-to-do black people trying to speak out about it and speak against it, and the only thing we can say is, yo, why are these people talking shit about black people? Why don't you have the same smoke for the people that they're talking about? That's my problem. Like, why aren't you as adamant about critiquing or telling the people that's doing that they need to stop doing that as you are at critiquing the people that's telling them to stop doing it, which is for their own fucking good?
Take a wild guess at what y'all think the rebuttal may be.
No, let podcast respond. I think he was trying to a second ago. Go ahead and respond, podcast.
I can't remember all that. It was a lot.
There it is again. There it is again. Y'all see what I'm saying? You got Angry Man, a very intelligent brother, who just gave another perspective. Nuggets. Spoon-fed. Laid it out, gift wrapped it in. He did the same thing I did, put a bow on top of that bad boy. And he did the same thing by saying what he said to me. To me, y'all remember what he said to me? I wasn't really listening to all. I didn't really catch it all. I wasn't listening. To Angry Man, I'm not going to remember all that. And look at Aaron's response. Look at Aaron's response.
Why are these people talking shit about black people? Why don't you have the same smoke for the people that they're talking about? That's my problem. Like, why aren't you as adamant about critiquing or telling the people that's doing that they need to stop doing that as you are at critiquing the people that's telling them to stop doing it, which is for their own fucking good?
Survey says.
No, let podcast respond. I think he was trying to a second ago. Go ahead and respond, podcast.
I can't remember all that. It was a lot. And it's like I said, 1 against 3, which I don't have a problem with, but my memory ain't as good as it used to be.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just want to tell y'all something right there. Podcast won't admit, he won't admit to it, but I'm very strategic and very well versed in doing this type of thing with dealing with people. Podcast, you might be watching this right now, bro. And you know, I told you even later on in this show, I said, I figured you out. I know what you're doing. And podcast laughed about it. Podcast went instantly, not even trying to, but like this is what I talk about when things kind of hit you on a subconscious level. He instantly went into a victim mode. It's 1 against 3. I have a bad memory. See? Christopher J said, I think podcast is going through an episode. Yeah. Samuel, it wasn't a short attention span. No, it was not a short attention span. You want to know why? Podcast deliberately did that. Podcast deliberately did that. That's the people that are of that certain type of mindset, that's what they do. And that's why if you really understand when you're dealing with human beings on a certain level, you'll say, man, they got a problem. See, when podcast is getting the answer and he's trying not to really hear it, he know what he's doing. But the question needs to be answered is, why do you do that? Why do you deflect? Why do you keep on trying to get us to look somewhere else? Why did you turn around and say, man, it's 3 against 1, so I know y'all not? Why? I want to know why you have that type of attitude when it's like that. Where did it come from? And this one I say, when I deal with people on a personal level, not talking about him, but when I deal with people on a personal level, I start to peel back layers. And I find out that this person was always been told that they were wrong. This person's always been told they never going to amount to them. This person's always been told that. So what they learn to do, they come up with a mental defense mechanism to not hear any type of correction. Because even though they may have been having things coming at them that was completely wrong, if you get told that you are a bad child all the time and you become an older adult and somebody is actually trying to do something to help you, that same mental defense mechanism that you put up when you were a child, it still sticks with you as an adult. And he didn't even know that he was even doing it. So that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, this channel right here. And still, from the beginning of this, you see that my title says Black conservatives are hated by Black people. Why? Where does that mindset come from? Podcast does not hate me at all. He knows my story. He know me and him grew up almost, I don't even, I forget how old he is, but Cabrini Green and stuff like that around the Chicago area. So you see this, and that's why I said this certain type of mentality, it is so ingrained that I've done this so long that I honestly, I just don't waste my time with individuals that would be like that. Most of the time, I really don't, because it's showing me that they're really not trying to arrive at an answer. A lot of times you will find that so long as you are giving people attention, be it negative or positive, they don't care, because you're feeding that parasitic type nature of theirs. They have no intentions on getting rid of what they got going. They have no intentions on bettering themselves. And it's not a little podcast. This mindset I'm talking about. Okay. Even though if it's him, it's him. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about this particular mindset. So I want y'all to understand that I'm not calling out Lil Podcast or nothing like that. I'm not calling him a bad person. But what I'm saying is that mentality, that parasitic-like type host mentality, so long as I am getting blood and sucking blood off of a host, I don't care who it is. Just give me blood. Okay? So let me see, because I'm going to scroll through a little bit more of this, because some of this stuff, y'all going to see, I'm going to tune out.
At the end of the day, the same way how you can say that, first of all, that argument that you said I shouldn't use, I didn't use it. I understood the point.
Them luxury not to.
Because of the fact that people sit on panels and shit on Black people, and they don't ever want to put anything into context.
Now, you guys just heard him say, people get on panels and they crap on Black people. I literally just got done saying earlier that you are focusing on the fact that you are getting a spanking without actually knowing why you got the spanking. Whenever you do something wrong, I even told them how I diagnosed the issue. I diagnosed the issue and then I give you the solution to it. But still, podcast, the mindset, look what it did. It went right back to, yeah, but man, people be on these panels crapping on Black people. See what I'm saying? No, I'm really Mo said look like I was losing my patience. No, it was one of those things, but Mo, where you see, if anybody ever see me out in a live debate or an engagement, they'll see that a lot of times I just, it's not frustration, it's not anything, it's just me going, okay, yep, I'm done. No more. There's no saving this. I'm moving on.
Right? If we say, yo, all these Black people on crack. So
doing what?
Do I need to go get video evidence and then like give y'all a chance to pretend like that shit ain't what it looked like? Because that's not how them conversations be going, bro.
Look at all of our faces. Look at my face. Look at Angry Man face. We all looking like, what is he talking about?
So right, okay, you can't sit on the panel. So no, that's not what's happening. They're not filming these panels from the hood while they're changing lives. It's not, I say you motherfuckers ain't personal to you, but you motherfucking conservative douchebags want to sit on these panels and talk shit about somebody that ain't reached your financial level yet, when it's motherfuckers that ain't made as much money as you, and morally they are way better than you.
That's one that's debatable. That's one that's fucking debatable, because the same way having a certain amount of money don't make you better than somebody, being fucking broke don't make you better than somebody either. Neither one of those things, if you're gonna say that if the moral argument is that how much money you have or how many possessions you have is not a direct correlation to your character, then being broke is not a direct correlation to being virtuous either.
So here's my question to you. In a world where there's billionaires and millionaires, how the fuck is somebody that makes 6 figures not broke?
What do you mean?
Imagine somebody that makes 6 figures, $100,000 a year, telling somebody that makes $40,000 a year they broke when they make $60,000 more dollars to them, and they live in a world when it's motherfuckers that make 10 times what they make.
Because regardless of whether a person makes 10 times what you make, fucking loaf of bread is still the price of a loaf of bread. Just because a person doesn't make $20 million a year does not mean that they're broke.
The issue is this.
But a loaf of bread is mediocre. That's mediocrity. Why would you be selling for a loaf of bread? Why don't you want the most expensive bread in the world?
Ain't that
the point?
That's not the point.
Wait. Oh, go ahead, Aaron, because
I got it. I know what it is. The problem is that if you make $40,000 a year, and I make way less than that, the issue is that your insecurities, right? If another man says something about me and I don't care, it don't matter. The problem is women are telling that ain't no money, and it bothers men because they can't get the women then. See, it's an insecurity thing.
In opportunities that may pass your way, or to be able to benefit from compound interest and things like that, then you end up in a perpetual cycle. Your children go through the same shit. Your children's children go through the same shit. And this is part of the reason that Black people are in the position that they're in. So whenever somebody's talking to Black folks who don't have any money about money, it's not to make you feel fucking insecure or to make you feel fucked up. At least I can speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody else.
I don't even know how insecurity even got into the conversation. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, bro, this is the same thing I was saying about the Nigerian.
Y'all see what I'm saying? You pick up on the pattern. Christopher J, just a minute ago. Where are you at? Christopher J? Christopher J says you were able to sit there and listen to this conversation. Said this sounds like insecurities, fear that one can't measure up to its counterpart. This is a grown man, by the way. Oh, that's what Christopher J just said. Aaron came right behind you and literally said the same thing that you said. You know what that's called, ladies and gentlemen? What I said earlier? You guys literally just diagnosed what is going on with him, and look what he did. This mindset that you hear coming from Little Podcast is in a lot of people. And the reason why I like to do this is because of this. While a lot of folks is watching Aaron Noah's channel, there are individuals out there that has that same type of mindset. So according to how they were feeling and thinking, Little Podcast is speaking on behalf of them. I got maybe 70, and I'm counting, I can't answer more. I got like 70 plus emails from individuals who do have the mindset of Little Podcast, but they're reaching out and saying, brother, I need help. Because what y'all were doing right there, that's the answer that I need. But Little Podcast don't want to accept it as being insecure. And I mentioned it earlier, a lot of people that instantly, that's why I sound like to tell people, I mean, a lot of my subscribers didn't even know. I mean, I know y'all know about the therapy part, but y'all don't know about the other part. I'm not going to get into all that, but that's why I don't like to tell people what I do. I don't like to tell people what I am, because they use that as a means to try to tear down the fact that I don't belong to them. That's why I don't like to tell them any of that. What do you do? Oh, I do some things with kids. Right, but what's your job occupation? I'm a director. I like to try to deflect. I try to say I'm in medicine. But the minute they hear DR behind your name or something like that, all of a sudden you are not it. We got insecurity in here. And what I said is the most time when people see somebody doing better than them, they instantly have an inferiority complex. It just makes me just like, yeah, no, because that's what you would think like that. Because the reason why I can relate to Little Podcast, because I used to think like Little Podcast. That's why I don't hate him. That's why I don't sit there and get pissed off at him or nothing. Because I used to think like that. I know what he's doing. I know where he's at, right? I used to think that way. I used to be the same exact way. Look at people that had it better than I did, and I instantly would get an inferiority complex. I will make those people superior to me. He will deny it, but you make people superior to you based off of your own drawn up conclusions in your mind. He literally said black conservatives are all douchebags because when they come into money, you instantly associated money with calling us douchebags. Money. So the difference between me and you to make me a douchebag is I got more money, but yet at the same time in the hood, a lot of my family members, big kingpin drug dealers, you wouldn't say that to them, no. They riding around. They got 7 different cars. All these cars are on 20s. They got chains. They got the gold teeth. They got the man. You won't say that to them. But somebody that did it the right way and is making good money, all of a sudden they are a douchebag. I have not heard anybody from the hood, from the streets, call any big-time kingpin drug dealer a conservative douchebag if money is supposed to be the thing that separates the two. I've never heard you call a drug dealer a conservative douchebag. Ever. So like I said, y'all, I'm not going to take y'all all the way through this because it got really bad. Y'all can say show us. I'm not showing y'all that. But Anton comes in. He spit some knowledge. He came in and cooked a little bit. Other people jumped on here and cooked a little bit with certain things. But no matter what little podcast, I figured him out and he knew what he was doing with his word and twisting things around and deflecting, because that's what he did pretty much the entire thing. But Eric, the Patriarchy Strike Back, is going to pretty much put the icing on the cake a little bit as to what podcast is doing.
The Haitians. Wait a minute. So you couldn't access your money. The same way how I'm saying I never see that. You know what else I don't see? Like everybody.
Hold on. Fam. I don't know what fucking, I don't know.
Trying to get some ass out there. I don't see it. I never see it.
I am one of their hot topics.
Yeah, they do.
Yo, I don't know why y'all think like so you couldn't access your. Yes. I can play that same game, that if game that y'all do all the time, right?
Yes. I would.
So here's my point. Well, if I was a millionaire, you was cutting me off, I'd do something about it, like fucking have your bank closed for a day, so you couldn't access your money.
We gonna Kanye West you.
I don't right.
But what I'm saying is this, right? The same way how I'm saying I never see that. You know what else I don't see? I don't see panels of quote unquote broke niggas sitting up talking shit about quote unquote well-to-do niggas all day. I don't see it. I never see it.
I am one of their hot topics.
Yeah, they do.
Yo, I don't know why y'all think like, bruh, you motherfuckers ain't perfect. Y'all are pieces of shit just like everybody else, right? And my point is that it's the shit that the conversations are one-sided. It's always conservative douchebags sitting around talking shit about niggas who ain't conservatives or douchebags. The so-called liberals and all that shit, them niggas is at work and trying to go home and tell their kids to be quiet and fucking telling and trying to get some ass out their girl, and she's saying no because she don't feel like it. Like them niggas is dealing with real life.
Yo, I don't know what.
No fucking body I know is on the internet, bro. Nobody.
I don't.
Then why are you here?
Hold on, fam. I don't know what fucking kind of goddamn Harry Potter fucking magic that the motherfucking liberals have sprinkled across the goddamn hood. But nigga, liberals are worse. Leftists are worse than conservatives when it comes to talking shit about fucking conservatives. What are you talking about?
Name the show.
What do you mean? Name it. Let me do this. So are you speaking of a show specifically on YouTube, or who are you speaking about? Okay, so Patriarch, you got to be.
Wait. Let me get my timer, Aaron. Let me start my clock because I'm gonna see how long this shit take. Okay, go.
Okay, are you telling me to name a show specifically that shits on conservatives on YouTube? Vouch.
Notice how the conversation is completely deflected again. We have gotten away from the nucleus of what this was supposed to be about. But let me continue a little bit here because some of this is just nonsense.
Wants to move it. Now he's moving it, right?
Lamont Hill.
I'm talking about, bro, I'm not talking about no old ass people, bro. He's a fucking politician.
The reason why he doesn't see it is because the leftists, they hide their fucking bullshit in pro-blackness. That's why you're not seeing it.
But he's talking about, one of the points he made was, he said he doesn't hear black. I'm assuming now is the muting up is crazy because now I'm
hold
just
on,
back.
hold on, because I'm on my phone. It's fucked up. I ain't bring my computer. But
can you mute real quick so I can give you a response at least?
Well, you did, but let me say something. The grapevine, them is fucking Africans.
So now it's Africans. So look, you see how many times you move it? You see how many times and they're not all Africans. A lot of them are Black Americans as well. Bro, there's plenty of these people out here with this. There's Deuces and Mero. There's all of these people out here who've been given nothing but, in fact, the entire Black establishment in media is all liberal, and all they do is blast back conservatives. Black conservatives have only had the voice box since like Candace Owens and Larry Elder. Outside of that, it was Tavis Smiley, Cornel West. All of these people had TV shows and they did nothing for 30, 40 years but shit on Black conservatives.
Facts.
Lamont Hill, what's Joy Reid?
Yeah. There are people in the White House.
Facts.
What's it, Angela Rye, The Breakfast Club?
So, Aaron, are you gonna jump in and tell Patriarchy where he's messing up at, or
look how he deflected again? Take it off the fact that I got spanked and pointed at it and directed somewhere else.
You're just gonna let him keep spouting out the bullshit.
Patriarchy is not a
none of these motherfuckers. I'll do it because you ain't gonna do it. None of these people you name are over here, bro. That's what I'm.
Okay, what you're saying is
I
over
already
here.
prefaced my statement by saying I never seen. Right? I already prefaced my statement by saying I never seen. Right?
You know why?
Here's the three criteria that you're missing. One. Okay, wait, but here's the three criteria that you missed. One, the motherfuckers you named, first of all, them motherfuckers ain't black.
Quote unquote.
You can say what you want to, but 80% of the motherfuckers on Grapevine, because I used to watch it, was from African descent, and you fucking know it, bro. You know it, bro. Okay, that's one. Two, Roland Martineau and Lamont Hill and all them other old ass motherfuckers. That's all them politician ass MSBN, CNN, fucking Fox News. We not talking about them. We talking about us.
But you talking about conservative. You talking about Candace Owens and stuff like that, right?
Fuck Candace. That's a politician type motherfucker. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about regular ass people like us, bro.
So hold on a second. So I can give you somebody who was over here. He said over here, right?
Okay.
So was Kay, the girl Kay, was she over here? She's a liberal. She's a liberal. She's liberal as they come. Okay, so there you go. For you to I can guarantee you a lot of the girls.
Wait, so you're saying Kay sat on panels and shit on rich people. Sit on and she shit on well-to-do black people. That's what she did.
Podcast.
Did they say stuff about Candace Owens or conservatives?
Podcast. First of all, your argument.
You're shitting
you might
on
have came in late, Patriarchy. You might have came in late. The specific point was that I said that they don't sit on panels and shit on well-to-do black people, like specifically just for being well-to-do.
Your argument, this particular argument is disingenuous, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Do people shit on Anton? He's well-to-do and he's black.
Hold on.
I get it every day, Eric. Every
day. Like Anton gets shit on. He's well-to-do. He's black, and people talk about him.
Yo.
Kevin Samuels was well-to-do. He was black. People talk about him. Oh, okay.
Yo, check this out.
So they said you fucked up because you got money.
Can they hear me? Can they hear me?
What'd you say, Angry Man? You saying something? I'm messing with you.
Yeah, he's trying to make a bullshit statement to say that I'm being disingenuous when I'm fucking not. Because my literal statement was that they shit on panels and talk shit about broke people. And I said I don't hear broke people sitting on fucking panels talking shit about well-to-do people.
You are being.
Now let me pause it right there. Was or was it not his initial point was when black people cross over and get into money, they are conservative douchebags. Now, I'm not getting ready to say something that's going to throw Podcast down because Podcast told this himself. He said that right now he's on government assistance. He was literally on Cheeky Banter's channel and he was on Aaron O channel, as y'all seeing right there, literally talking crap about individuals like myself, individuals like Angry Man, individuals like Anton, individuals like Eric, the patriarchy. He literally was doing that, but he can't see it. The demise of what they have done to people on a subconscious level, you're seeing it at play. And this is why I had like a lot of my young mentorees. Watch this, because this, guys, y'all have to understand how evil and brilliant it is that they were able to implement this type of mindset into a lot of individuals, from the trailer park to the backwood hillbilly mindset to the projects to the ghetto to the hood. It's amazing. They have ate it, ingested it, and it has spread all over their body, and they are preaching it as if it is truth and can't even see how disingenuous it is to say you don't see no broke dudes on here talking about folks and money. And that's literally what he was on here for. He said because they get money and they act like they're better than folks, they act like they're perfect. You are all right.
Being disingenuous. You're being very disingenuous.
Oh, this is a wealth conversation. Okay.
You being very disingenuous, and I'm gonna tell you why. YouTube's only been around 17 fucking years. And of the 17 years that YouTube has been around, spaces like this are fairly recent. So when you say that patriarchy is full of shit for naming those people, the reason why those people haven't been over here is because they didn't have to be. They're in mainstream media. There were barely any black conservative voices in mainstream media. It's part of the reason the fucking black community is so fucked up now. Listen to all of these asinine, stupid ass fucking liberals that keep telling black people it's okay to be fucking broke and struggling.
Woo!
And the voices that you hear now are necessary. Because since now that motherfuckers have been saying shit, niggas have been leveling up. The ones that's willing to listen. So it is a disingenuous argument.
That does not fucking make my argument disingenuous, Angry Man. I don't give a fuck how loud you yell.
You just keep
I'm specifically speaking from my own point of view. So how is that disingenuous?
Okay.
If I preface my statement by saying I never saw.
Okay. All right. Well,
then I also said what I said I didn't see, right, was these so-called broke people, right? These so-called liberal motherfucking broke people sitting on panels, shitting on black people, on well-to-do black people, like for that reason. That's what I said.
Yeah, he's saying
you don't get to change the motherfucking criteria of what I said to make your point. Him, and nobody else gets to do that.
I get what you're saying.
If you can't respond to what I said, then just say, well, no, bro, you right. I ain't gonna say I seen the motherfucker shit on the motherfucker just because they got money, but I have seen motherfuckers shit on conservative. That's a whole nother ball game, but that's my point.
Yo, say the shit you said again, the first part that you said I'm not responding to. Say that part again.
What?
The first part that you said I wasn't responding to. Say that part again, and I'm gonna respond directly to it.
Bro, I just said a lot. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't.
I get what he's saying. He's saying he doesn't see it, right? Like it's all. It's
right.
That's going to be
my statement.
Yeah. So it's going to be based on his interpretation and all this kind of stuff. So it's a pointless argument or to even go back and forth, because if that's how he's preferencing it, it's all based upon what he's seeing. And you don't see black racism against white people, do you?
Black racism
against white people?
By the definition of racism that you're using, yes.
Okay. So you do see
the definition that I use, though, no.
You do see. Okay. See, like I said, it's all going to be based on his interpretation.
Yeah, of course I see the bullshit when people like want to attribute every single fucking thing to race. That shit is corny as hell. You have to be willing to look at every situation individually and assess it for what it is, right? But like I said, the only reason why any of this shit ever come out of my mouth is because of the fact that people will sit on these panels. They will look at the community, right? We would get on these panels. We'll pull up a video and we'll see a dude running around crazy, right? But nobody ain't gonna mention the fact that he was doing that because he was on a drug that came from Big Pharma.
Oh, okay.
They're not gonna mention that. They're not gonna talk about that part.
Maybe you should get off these panels then. Maybe you should get. It doesn't sound like they're good for your mental health.
Podcast. One of the biggest issues.
Straight is everybody else that got a problem with me, which I'm happy about that. But you know, it's all good.
This is what I know.
A lot of mental health is fake too,
right? What I've never really seen, since we talk about things we have not seen. I've never seen any group of any other people tell the rich people in their group to help us out. The way they say LeBron's a sellout, I never hear white people say Bill Gates is a sellout. They never do it. They never go back and say, Bill Gates, you ain't came back and saved us out the bad predicament we in. Pour back to your communities. I've never heard any groups and their successful rich people do that. You know why? Because they realize, hey, they done moved on. If I want to get in those spaces, I got to grind, get up there. We the only people that say, hey, look, y'all remember where y'all came from. Y'all one of us. Help us out. And so why you think these conversations keep happening? Because y'all don't want to separate. Now that's my
they literally stood on the floor of Congress or the Senate and referred to every poor white person that supports Trump as deplorables. You think that wasn't an insult? You think that what do you think they meant when they said all of that?
It's his opinion. It's once again, Angerman, it's his opinion. He don't see it. That I get what he's saying. He doesn't see it. And I feel like once you take that, you're not going to get to him and what he sees.
And with that point right there being said, Eric is right. See, when podcast says, I don't see anybody out here doing this. I don't see anybody out there doing that. He is literally saying he as an individual. He's not making it as a generalized statement. Like if I sit here and say something like, I don't see no horses. And people are like, dude, there's all kind of horses out there, man. There's Clydesdale. There's this dude. What are you talking about? There's all kind of horses. And he is literally telling us that he as an individual don't see horses. So it's almost like, what the freaking heck were we just doing here? And when I figured that out, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there dictating notes and all that and doing other side work and everything like that. I was just, once I figured out what he was doing, I was done. I was just completely done.
And this is my problem with the right. I think the right needs to stop trying to talk and win over the left. The people like this and I'm not saying podcasts, I'm not putting you down, but people like this are set in their ways. They're going to be like what Scott Adams said was correct. There's going to be some people that are you can never win them back and you just got to move on. Because when he said what he sees, what his opinion is he's coming from a completely different perspective than you, me, Aaron, or MRM, and you just got to respect it. You just got to respect it. He's going to have his beliefs, he's going to have yours.
I want to ask Aaron a question real quick.
Problem is, and this is
so. Well, my phone fucked up, Angry Man. Just let me get this up.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron. First of all, to the statement that you made, you know what I don't hear?
Oh boy,
I don't hear rich white people. Again, do you hear me prefacing my statement by saying I don't hear, right? I don't hear rich white people telling working class white people that they need to get richer. I also don't hear that. But my question to you,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to give y'all a disclaimer. It is about to get hot. I am not going to play this entirety. If you want to see this in its entirety, what I'm going to do is the equivalent of a movie. I'm getting ready to give you guys a cliffhanger. Okay? You getting ready to see something, and I'm going to leave it as a cliffhanger. If you want to finish watching it, you're going to have to go over to my guy, Aaron O's channel and watch it. Share this screen with y'all so y'all can see where Aaron's channel is. See? Let me take this down real quick. You see right here? The Aaron O. See that? You're going to have to go over here. And wherever I stop this video, I'm going to give y'all the timestamp. Okay? When I stop this video and give y'all the timestamp, you're going to have to go over to Aaron's channel and finish watching the rest of it because it is about to get super hot. Y'all thought, okay. You've been warned. Just letting you know.
I
do. Are you serious?
Let's go ahead, little podcast. But I personally do.
Again, that's what I'm, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know what y'all watching, but I don't. Especially if it's TV, I ain't watching.
No. These are colors.
No. Y'all asking him the wrong question.
Here we go.
What rich white people do he know and listen to?
I don't know. But Aaron, this was my question to you. Is Tyler Perry a conservative?
So he just gonna skip right over that?
Because I was already in the middle of something, bro. I'm not trying to battle with you right now.
The problem is that your argument is disingenuous because you don't listen to no rich white people.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
You don't know what the fuck they talking about. So how
you
you
right?
sit here and substantiate an argument by saying that you don't hear them talking about that particular when you don't hear them at all?
Right. You're right. I don't.
Y'all been warned.
Do you know any white people podcasts? Like, do you have friends
like
that
personally
are white?
Friends?
Yeah.
No, but he didn't say friends. He didn't say friends. He said listen.
Okay, I got you.
He said listen, right? So which we all know is some dumb shit because this is what he just said. He just said you don't listen to any rich white people. Then when I start naming white people, you know what his response gonna be? You don't know them. But I'm the one that's gonna be being disingenuous.
Hold on. First of all, you
Aaron,
can't tell me what I'm
my
going
question
to
you was this.
Based off of something that I haven't said yet. And that's how
I know.
These motherfuckers are so weak because they making an argument over something that I haven't even responded to. Instead of just dealing with straight up the conversation that's being had, he's leaning into his emotions to try to predict what I'm gonna say. If you know
you got that same script, you run that on everybody, bro. You do realize that, right?
No.
They lean into their emotions. When you just came on the panel and said that I'm not listening to no rich white people, how do you know that?
Because you just said it. He asked you, who do you listen to?
No, I didn't.
I asked you. I didn't tell you what you're doing anything. I asked you what white people.
And then you literally said, because he ain't listening to no rich motherfucking white people.
Because
that's what you said.
You said you didn't know any or listen to any of them.
Yeah, because I don't want to have this conversation with you. Because I don't want to have this conversation with you. It's been going very swell up until this point. And you just came in to do this thing that you're doing right now. And nobody wants to deal with that.
On this panel, every motherfucker
bro,
on this panel
nobody has been talking the way you talking right now. Nobody.
I can say what the fuck I want because that's
you can, and I don't have to respond to it, so I'm not anymore. Go ahead, you got it.
Shut the fuck up if you don't want to respond.
I don't have to, but you got it.
Saying, yeah, you are. You still responding because you triggered like a.
You're right. You're right. I am.
Just like a female.
I'm choosing to. Well, you're the one yelling and cussing, so I think you're triggered. I actually think you're the one that's triggered.
Nah, you're right. I'm triggered by broke niggas. I hate them around me. I hate you, black.
I'm not around you. Why you hate me?
I hate you, black, ugly, broke niggas that step around and always want to have a fucking opinion, and you can't even fucking feed yourself without the federal government, nigga. Nigga, you are my son because I pay for your taxes in order for you to.
You really don't, because we don't live in the same state, so you don't pay for me.
But you depend on the federal.
You don't pay for me because we don't live in the same state, so you don't pay for me. Actually, that's one. You don't pay for me. Not to mention the fact that I've been on government assistance for 2 months.
Nigga, and you my son, nigga, because
I've been on government assistance for 2 months.
Where you think I get it from, nigga?
You've been ugly for a long ass time.
Nigga, you are trash. You're my son. You're my son, nigga. And
you've been ugly for a long ass time.
And the fact of the matter is, every nigga on this panel except for you is winning. And you the only one that's losing, nigga. And you complain every time we hear this nigga on the panel. He's whining about rich people. He's whining about niggas that's winning. He's whining about black men that are winning when it comes to winning. He talks about his emotions. He talks about how he cries. He talks about how much he's on government assistance and how people need to assist him. This nigga's a bitch in the highest level. This This nigga's a bitch at the highest levels, bro. He is the very thing that is wrong with the black community.
And between the two of us, who has a Patreon, me or you?
Instead of y'all niggas calling him out.
Between the two of us, who has a Patreon, me or you?
Me, nigga. And I make
okay, right. So who's really dependent on the people?
I make over $40,000 a month on Patreon, nigga. Now what?
I know you do. Who's really dependent on the people? My rent $725. That's how much I get out the people.
Here's the beautiful.
I get $725 out the people. You get $40K out the people every month.
Right, and I provide a phenomenal service.
Who the fuck is dependent on the people? Me or you?
And you know what the beautiful part about it is? Inside of the Patreon, I show my check stub for my regular job. I make almost $1 million. I make almost $1 million a year just from corporate America, nigga.
Oh shit, nigga! Yeah, I ain't know you had that type of bag.
It's like that, nigga. I'm that.
That's not what they saying in the back chats, though. They saying some other shit.
What they saying in the back chat, nigga? I'm that.
Nigga. I know. Can't nobody ever say I talked about you in the back chat because I don't give a fuck.
I'm him in real life, nigga.
That's what's up. Where I come from, that don't mean nothing, though. See, that's the difference. That's what y'all don't be understanding. That shit don't mean nothing to everybody. A lot of people don't give a fuck about what you're doing. They care about their own lives, nigga. We don't give a fuck about what Anton Daniels is doing with his life. Congratulations. Everybody else still got to live theirs, though. And once y'all stop talking about everybody else's lives, nigga, I'll stop commenting on y'all's.
Nigga, you complaining about rich people right now.
I ain't complaining about shit, nigga. I'm talking what the fuck I want to talk. Because I'm a grown man and I can fucking do that shit, nigga. No, close my mouth.
That wasn't even bad. See, let me tell y'all something. What y'all just got done hearing, that's like PG-13 for some of us that's from the hood. It gets a lot worse. I'm not going to play it. It gets a lot worse. Okay? Case in point is this. When you arrive into a particular type of mindset, and when you have actually been into that mindset and you got out of it, and you as experienced as I am with dealing with people like this, there's nothing that you can do. If I diagnose you with an issue and you don't want to take the proper steps to do your part on alienating yourself of that diagnosis that I gave you, there's nothing I can do. We see this in the hospitals all the time. People come in, they OD. They think that if they come in and give us their pee sample, that we're going to call the police. Y'all know that you can come to the hospital and be high on all kind of drugs you want to. We don't call the police. We can't. We just don't. What we do, we want to take your pee so we can know how to treat you. If you come in there and you got meth, we know we need to make sure you get some saline in your system. You come in and you pee and you got this going on. We got to make, if you come in, you do coke, you need to give us a pee sample, because if you come in there and we see cocaine in your pee, we're not trying to figure out if you got cocaine in your pee so we can call the police. We're trying to figure out if you got cocaine in your body so we can give you the proper medication to offset the cocaine so your heart don't burst, right? This is what we do stuff like this for in the medical world, okay? Check this out. With us doing all those things to try to help save you, those people would literally leave the hospital, and within 10 minutes of us just saving their lives, they will go back and do the same exact thing. There's a lot of folks that you just are not going to be able to save. And I'm not saying it's the podcast, I like the guy. I'm just being real with y'all. The rest of this video, you're going to end up finding out that he did some specific and strategic, brilliantly type trolling. And as y'all can hear in there, my guy Anton, he got Anton triggered. What you guys just heard, y'all, oh my God, the cussing, the this, to that. Where I can look, if you grew up like I did, this is nothing. This part was nothing. Like what y'all just heard was nothing. That's PG-13. That's nothing. It gets a lot worse though. And I'm stopping it right there. If you want to go on and finish watching this, I'm going to share this screen, and so y'all can go over to Aaron O's channel on this particular video, because if you go over there and watch this particular video, you are actually supporting Aaron O's channel as well. It's at the 2 hour, 10 minute, 48 minute mark. See that? 2 hours and 10 minutes and 48 seconds. If you want to go over there, no, I ain't playing that, sis. Sam said play it time. No. No. But what I can do is tell you this. I tell you what, I put a clip. Okay, you said post a link. Let me give you the link. Let me see. Here's the link right here, y'all. I'm about to post a link right there. There's the link to Aaron Knowles' channel. Again, it's at the 2 hour and 10 minute mark, 48 seconds. But let me show y'all what my response was to after this stuff happened. Let me show y'all what the response was, and then you're gonna see how comical it became, because there was somebody that was also in the chat that he didn't understand what a joke was. Okay, let me show y'all this. Check this out. Make sure y'all can see this. So this is from last night, which y'all, this is the end of what I told y'all I'm not about to play, because I got rid of some stuff in here. So check this out. This is the after effect of what happened, what we're telling y'all about. Okay. This guy right here, Simon. Where is it at? This guy right here, Simon, does not understand certain type of comedy or comic relief. Okay. Watch this. Again, for the setup, this is what happened after I told you. This is the after effect of the part that I'm not going to play for y'all. Okay? And this is how bad it was. So let me go ahead and play it for y'all.
They understand that he's a scourge on the earth. They don't deal with shit like this. We the only people that's trying to negotiate and pacify criminals. Who the fuck negotiate with criminals? This is crazy, man.
Y'all see how quiet it is? Look at our responses, because this is how bad it got. Y'all hearing the aftermath. Yeah, what about that football game?
Yeah.
That's what niggas do. Wait, we the gate.
Now see that? You see what dude just did? Simon did not understand. You see what I'm saying? Look, cars, you got that part, right? You understood that, right? You understood that, right? Watch Simon's response. Simon just did not get it, man. He just did not get it. Let me go ahead and show it again, because Simon just did not get that part, man. Hold on. Watch. Yeah, what about that football game?
Yeah.
That's what niggas do. Wait, we the gate. We in the gate. Okay, cool. We want to go to the football game. Cool.
Simon, you know what a joke is, right?
Simon. You gonna bounce me out.
I mean, honestly, now, you know, you see Marlon Renaissance, he's trying to negate from the conversation, but I'm talking about the football game. We don't want to talk about football right now, right, bro?
Simon, you taking the piss? Like, come on, bro.
It's a joke, Simon. It's like,
no, you're detracting. It's just we need to have conversations about what we're talking about. You want to bounce? It's what niggas do. You want to get the club? You want to get
Simon. It's a joke, bro. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't understand that type of joke across the pond or something, but it was a joke.
The conversation.
Maybe you need to get international.
The conversation.
And at that point, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we found out that Simon was drunk. He didn't even understand that part right there. But what I'm telling y'all is that it got that bad to where y'all saw how we were all just kind of like, woo, you know. And I told you I'm not gonna play that part. So y'all, that's what I just wanted to end this with. You know, I appreciate y'all all hanging out with me for 2 hours out of y'all day, taking y'all time out to watch me talk about this. But these are the type of things that we deal with. I know folks say, Ty, how do you not get tired of this? You want to know why I don't get tired of it? It's because of the ones that actually turn out to become successful. It's absolutely amazing. The most awesome feeling you can get, besides making love with your wife and having a big O, or vice versa. You a wife making love with your husband, you have the big O. There's no better feeling to me, no better satisfaction than seeing other human beings become successful and do well and have families and grow their families. It never gets old. So although you're not able to save everybody, the ones that you do save make it so worthwhile to see it, and it's such a blessing. And I'm not just saying it because I can actually substantiate and I can back up what I mean by a blessing. Give you an example. Somebody that we helped, they became an accountant. That person does the taxes for free. Another one becomes a contractor, owns his own business, builds the decks, our decks and stuff. Put up the gutters and stuff for free. Properties that are owned. I got you, Mr. Ty, because what you did for me. The blessings come back, but that's not the reason why you do it to help them. But my point is, that's how it's a blessing already. And it's so invigorating. It's so awesome to see people do so well when they listen to what you told them to do, and you just let them go free and they thrive. It is so awesome. But then, yeah, for them to come back and return, no, Mr. Ty, man, because you the reason why I got into school and I got into this, man. I'm building your deck, man. I'm putting you on some new. Matter of fact, we're gonna get you some. I'm just telling you, it never gets old. It never, ever gets old, folks. It just it's awesome. So although in this particular case, like somebody like Lil Podcast and people that's of this mindset that's like that, Lil Podcast got a chance. I think Lil Podcast can turn things around, but it's not going to happen if Lil Podcast don't want to. We can't make him. We can't make it because he's already an adult. His brain is mature to formulate ideologies and all that, et cetera, et cetera. But between the ages of like 9 all the way to like 23, 24-ish, there's a huge chance that what you try to get them to do, if they would just listen to you, although they may not agree, because a lot of them can't see that far in the future, they listen to you and they do well. We've gotten, my wife and I, y'all, I mean, I just don't, it's not to be bragging. It's not to brag. To me, it's not bragging because I do it out of the love in my heart. I do it out of the free will. I do it even though I got busy with a lot of things, but I volunteer my time and I don't ask for nothing. I just want to see them do well. My wife, very, very brilliant when it comes to college stuff, because while she was in college, she worked in the financial aid office. My wife knows how to write grants. She's writing these kids grants, getting scholarships, the whole nine, although they're already going to school for free, but she's getting them an extra $20,000-$30,000 while they're going to school for free, to say, we're going to put this off to the side. So when you graduate, it's going to have this much. You can use that to possibly get you a car, or you can use that to put down on possibly how, y'all, I'm telling you, this is what we do. This is what we do. Now take that and look, listen, it's fine. Take that. Take that. And then you go back and you got black people calling you Uncle Tom, sellout, all that. It does not bother me, because those ones that are calling me that and throwing that out there to me like that, I'm not here for you anyway. I'm not here for the slaves that want to remain on the plantation. I'm here for the slaves that want to get off the mental plantation. That's what makes it easy. I want y'all to understand that. Some of y'all, because y'all are very fond of me. Y'all like my channel. Y'all been rocking with me for a long time. Y'all been watching with y'all been with me for a long time on this channel. I know y'all like to jump to the defense of me, which y'all know I don't need it. But that's why I tell y'all, don't get pissed off at folks that call me names. Don't get pissed off at folks that throw all that hatred at me, because they got y'all to focus on them when all I'm focusing on is the slaves that's trying to get off. That's it. I don't care about them over there saying this. I don't care about the mentality that's trying to tell these other slaves, don't do it. He's going to set y'all up. Y'all want to get off this mental plantation or not? Yes, sir. Let's go. That's it. That's what I do. That's why I say I don't care. So the one that the slaves are still on the mental plantation, that's throwing shade and all that, I don't care what they're saying, because I'm not there for them. Okay, somebody made a comment and said, how do we download MRM's Cash App? By clicking on his link directly to our mobile. Joe Sereno, it's the money. I guess it's the money sign, and then it's Modern Renaissance Man. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. If you about to send something to my Cash App, I really appreciate it. God bless you for it. All of y'all know I don't. If you send something to my Cash App, whatever like that, I really do appreciate it. God bless you for that. I never not accept any type of gift or any type of way a person chooses to bless me. This is not like this is a grifting thing, blah, 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 blah. It's nothing like that at all. It's simply I'm saying thank you. I've learned not to for myself. I know that I'm doing well for myself, but if anybody want to send something and bless me, I'm not going to sit there and turn that away is what I'm saying. So let me put it up for you right quick. And I think this is, I don't know how people get on there and do it, but Joe, where are you? Let me see. I'm going to show you here. At Joe. There it is right there. That's how you can get to it. It's the money sign in Modern Renaissance, man. He said MRM is going to be a young granddaddy. No, I'm 41. I'm 41 years old. I got a brother that was 30 or in his late 20s, and he was already a granddaddy. I'm going to be a normal grandpapa. Ty, you working for Big Pharma? Oh, nuh-uh. No, I don't work for Big Pharma. I don't prescribe medication. No, not at all. So anyway, folks, I really, really do appreciate y'all being in here. There are some other channels y'all can go check out, like Aaron O. I mentioned JP Prince for president. This is Fight Club, which Anton is a part of it. Even there was on here a little podcast. Check out their channel. I'm showing them love, yeah, as y'all can see, because I don't subscribe to a particular side, so to speak. I show everybody love. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has a perspective that a lot of folks can benefit from. So I'm just gonna do that. So let me see if I can find JP Prince channel, and I'll show y'all, because there's some stuff to go. Some of y'all, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Okay. Did it just go off of the? Let me see. I'll show y'all here in a second. Okay, here's JP Prince channel. As y'all can see, they got their own topics that they talk about. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take y'all back to another channel that I recommend, Chaotic Truth. This is going to be good. I might jump over on this panel with Chaotic Truth. I recommend y'all go over there. Y'all see it right here? Chaotic Truth. He's talking about Scott Adams, because Scott Adams is pretty much telling white people to stay away from black people. And you got to understand why he's saying that. So I recommend y'all go over there. I might jump over there on Chaotic Truth panel, but we'll see. So again, folks, I really appreciate y'all being here. I know I keep on saying that. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for hitting that like button so this video can be circulated within the YouTube algorithm. Yes, these shirts are on Teespring. You have to go over to my channel. I'll show that one more again, okay? If you go over to my channel, let's see here. Let's see if I'm on my channel, okay? If you go over to my channel and see this tab that says home, videos, shorts, lives, playlists, community, store. When you click on store, you will see the t-shirt there. This one says unvaxxed and proud. On the back of it says pure blood. Here's the hat that says hashtag pure blood. And the O's in blood, they are red blood cells. Here's my shirt right here that says truth. And wow, I didn't mean to do that. But the shirt says truth knows no color. There's the mug right there for Uncle Tom. Just letting y'all know that that's there, okay? And with that being said, folks, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Appreciate y'all rocking it out with me. I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I really do hope and pray that every last one of you guys that are listening to me, I hope and pray that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray that you all are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus, my friends.